great bit of kit, it's tiny. The Alpkit Elan birthday present for Hello, it's really good to be out. Those of you that don't know, I'll just fill you in briefly. I've had a little bit of a break. I was taken into hospital a week ago and had to have a fairly swift operation, and I've got loads and loads of well-wishing messages. Thank you so much for all of you that wrote notes to me. It's just been really good. I don't like getting ill, and to get all those enthusiastic messages was really good, and thank you very much. I'm not out of the woods yet. Got a little bit of extra apparatus inside me still, and in about 5 weeks time I've got to pop back into hospital and have that all whipped out. But it doesn't stop me from doing stuff. I've just got to be a bit careful with well, I do no great heavy weights or anything like that, but it doesn't stop me coming out camping. I'm really close to home here in my little bit of permission woodland. I thought that's a good idea, just in case I get uncomfortable in the night, or just feel it's not the right thing to do, so I'll buzz off home. But I'm out for a wild camp. I've got my tarp set up just as a lean-to. There's no wind, no rain forecast, to just have it there as a little bit of sort of protection around me. And I've dug a fire pit, and in that fire pit I've put a handful of big stones just to protect the floor of the soil a little bit, and in that way I can have a fire close to my tarp here, and once I fill all that in after the fire, then there should be absolutely no trace, as usual, of me being here. Apart from wild camp, I've got a couple of 2 or 3 bits of new gear to show you. I met the manager of my local Alpkit store the other day. Really nice guy, and he's wanting me to review the Alpkit Elan, which is a sort of a contender for the Snugpack Stratosphere Bivvy. So I'm going to have a go at that tonight, and I'll sort of show you the unpacking and the putting up of that. So hopefully it's simple enough. I haven't actually had it out the bag yet. And also the SOTO Thermostack cook system, which I've been sent to have a little look at, and it looks at face value a really clever, compact bit of kit. Hopefully it would suit those that like to do the sort of minimalistic types of camp. but I'm far from minimalistic tonight. I need all the creature comforts with me and I want to stay warm. That's the main thing. Going to do some great cooking this evening and tomorrow morning, I hope. Again, two things. One of the things I have tried, but this evening's meal I haven't tried, but it's always good to experiment on camera. But for now, I'll yeah, just continue getting set up. It's really early in the afternoon, although it looks like it's not even 3 o'clock yet. Probably about half an hour's worth of useful light. I'm going to set up here so I'm all good to go. Then I'm going to go home. It's only 5 minutes away. Spend a bit of time with the children and family, and then come out once night's fall, probably about 3 or so hours at 6 o'clock, and we can get the fire going and start cooking. This is the Alpkit Elan. It's about a foot long, 30 centimeters, weighs about 950 grams, so it's less than a kilogram, and there you go. It is a really nice compact bit of kit. Let's have a look inside. Cut the tie ribbons. Okay, we've got what feel like some pegs in there and some poles. It's a hooped bivvy, which I very much like compared to the sort of bivvy that just really gets in the way of your face, so you get a bit of space that way. There we go, we've got 7 pegs, pretty good quality, and in here I'm guessing are the poles. There you go, and that's 2, and I believe they're identical shaped, and yeah, shaped for the job poles, which go in the head end to keep it a little bit elevated above your face. Right, so we'll have a go at putting it up. That's very neat. Now you can see it's just a nice little boxed area, very sturdy, that holds all the bivvy away from your face, so at least you've got a little bit of a moving room at the head end. So all the peg out points have got this reflective tape on it, and one thing I really like is the fact that it's got an end guy point here, and if I'm just going to get a bit of cordage and tie this up, and as you can see, that gives it a little bit of lift off my sort of entire body when I'm in. And one thing that's really important for an old fart like me is that it's side entry, which makes all the difference for little night interruptions. It's really well ventilated here, so you can actually just have this bit zipped onto the outer here, so that you've got ventilation, and there's more ventilation around the back here. So good so far. And something I've noticed is that here, lovely little touch, is it's got a sleep mat strap to hopefully stop your sleep mat slipping so much. It's quite slippy stuff, but as far as specs for the nylon are concerned, I don't know them off heart. It's I'll tell you what, I'll put a little card up here now which gives a little bit of detail on the sort of proofing of it and how hard wearing the fabric is. It's figures that I don't really understand, but I've got protection of the tarp and I'm very much looking forward to using this. Just going to put this reflective blanket underneath the whole thing. Yeah. Another new bit of gear that I've been sent is this SOTO Thermostack cook set. It's an all-in-one cooking and yeah, sort of drinking mug set, and it comes in this nice little carry pouch, but the carry pouch, I can get it out, it's got some insulation in it there and doubles up nicely as a pot cosy when you're maybe dehydrating or rehydrating one of your meals. So that's a great little idea. This is the first cup. Graduations go up to 500 millilitres there, so I'd say it's about 750-800 millilitres at the top. Comes with a top that's got some straining holes there, so if you're cooking rice, something that needs straining, you can strain the water out there and you won't lose the rice. And it's also got a little drinking hole as well. And that comes off to reveal, see, it hasn't been used. So this is titanium, I don't know if I mentioned that, really light. And inside that is another little titanium cup, which that hasn't got any measurements on it, but at a wild guess I'd say about 300 millilitres capacity. And then within that, it's like these Russian dolls, isn't it, is another stainless steel cup with graduations on it, up to 250 mils there, so I'd say it's about 350 millilitre max capacity. Again, with a nice top, fits snugly, and it's got a drinking hole. And with all that, you get the nice pot lifter as well. And the beauty of this is, it's got this plastic sleeve on here, which fits nicely into there, and there you've got a double-walled thermocup really. And once you put the top on there, your drink is going to stay warm for a very long time. So without further ado, I think I should make myself a cup of tea using this. Well, that's boiling. I've just realised I've been a bit daft. I should have just boiled the water in the cup I'm going to have the tea in, but I've not really been with it this last week, so you just have to forgive me. But I suppose it gives a bit of warmth to the cup that's providing a bit of the outer insulation. So pop that in there. That should be good. Of heat retention. I said a cup of tea, but coffee was the first thing that came to hand, so I'm going to have that. With the top. There we go. Actually, you can already tell that's working because that's boiling water that's gone in the inner cup, and the outer cup there, the titanium one, is only just slightly warm. So I think that's providing some really good sort of thermos flask style insulation. Brilliant. I thought about making this a really sort of Christmassy video, but it was my intention a couple of weeks ago to do something really special with lights and typical Richard Outdoors gags here and there, but it's been one of those weeks and it's just nice to be out. I suppose the only sort of festive thing I've got really is I chopped up last year's Christmas tree just after we'd finished with it in the house, so that's been drying out over the year, and so I've got the the remnants from last year's Christmas tree to put on the fire to help me do some cooking. Later on, what we're going to be cooking is just doing a beef stroganoff, actually. One of my favourites. Haven't used this particular recipe before. I had a little look at a couple of online that I like the look of, that were simple enough for taking on a camp. So we'll be doing that, and yeah, I'm going to get the proper fire going so it's next to the bivvy here, and cook using my TJM Metalworks mini fire anchor, which, yeah, that was a Christmas present last year, which I've only used a couple of times, I think. So yeah, again, lovely to be trying out gear that's just sitting around the garage at the moment. I really like to use the stuff that I'm given because I'm so grateful for getting it, but for now, hopefully this will scorch me and it'll show that it's working. But as I said, it's barely warm, this outer cup. Oh, and the contents are absolutely roasting hot. So that endorses the SOTO Thermostack so far. I'll be cooking some rice in it later, and also shows how stupid I am. Right, it'll just seem like that until I'm back, but I'm going to go home for a bit after this coffee for a couple of hours and come back and we'll do some cooking. Well, I'm back. I only went home for about 40 minutes actually. It was it was pretty difficult to drag myself away. The Christmas lights were on as the fire was burning. My wife and my daughter were making Christmas gingerbread man. It was a lovely sort of teenage boy was in his room on his phone, so it was a typical family Christmas scene. But one thing is I've got a fire going, which always makes a difference. So I'll get that established, and I'll get some coals going so that very soon I'll be able to get the TJM Metalworks grill out and start cooking. Take you through the ingredients then, in no particular order. Just using boiling the bag of rice to have with it. I'm going to use juice of about half a lemon. What we've got here, some chili flakes. That's my starter. Antibiotics and a couple of other things. Beef stock pot, sour cream, tomato puree. In there is some butter, olive oil. Just got some chopped up button chestnut mushrooms, and here are some chopped up shallots, those sort of bell-shaped shallots. I think they're called scallions or something, I'm not sure. Mixed with about a teaspoon of sweet paprika. And in here, it's a stroganoff. I think a stroganoff always needs decent meat. So I've got some fillet here. You can use sirloin, but I think it's always the best with fillet, and I've just cubed a small fillet steak there. That's all ready to go on, and I'll talk you through it as I do the cook up. And I'm just going to cook it all in my lovely Swedish, and I don't know how to pronounce it, but it's a lovely little frying pan. Well, first up is my starter. Delicious, short and sweet. Right, on we go. Some olive oil. I've got that pan pretty level. I'm reasonably pleased with that. Right, that steak's cooked, so I'm just going to put it in this titanium plate to rest a little bit by the fire. Doesn't matter how long I leave that because it's all going to get warmed through again. And butter in the pan. And in with the shallots and the paprika mix. So I want to cook those until they're nice and soft. And then I pop the mushrooms in. And just off at the side I've got some water boiling for my rice, just using my little pocket rocket. Alright, they're softened down, so here go my little button chestnut mushrooms. I'll stir those about and give them a couple of minutes to soften a little bit. You should see the mess I'm making here. All looks rather good on camera, but not doing brilliantly on the mess side. Good mushroom puree, not mushroom puree, tomato puree. I'm not going to put all this in, but there's some sour cream. This is a beef stock pot, they're really strong, so I'm only just going to put a little nibble of it in there, I think. Yeah, that'll be enough. Yeah, tiny bit more. I'll do it. A few chilli flakes. Pop the meat back in. I've just put the rice on my plate. There's a squeeze of lemon in there, and that looks pretty good to me. A typical Richard Outdoors, very light snack. Let's give it this a whirl. Fillet steak, beef stroganoff. See if that will focus. I'll look away. Oh. Again. That is really tasty. Well, paprika, onions, chili flakes all make it. Really beefy with that bit of the stock cube as well as obviously the beef in it. But that's something else. Really easy. And absolutely delicious. Perfect winter camping food. I'm going to eat this, have a clear up. You wouldn't believe the mess I've made. I'll enjoy it, and I'll speak to you a little bit after. I forgot to report back on this SOTO little, what's it called again, the thermostack. That cup of coffee that I made stayed warm for, I was still drinking it nearly 2 hours later. It's absolutely superb. I boiled the rice in it and I kept it warm using the outer pot cosy, and that kept the rice really fresh, really warm until the stroganoff was ready. It's a really great bit of kit. It's tiny, just yeah, it's about, I don't know, 6 inches 15 centimeters tall. The specs will be on the website, but it weighs nothing. It's mostly titanium, one small stainless steel pot inside, and it's just fantastic. The other thing I'm trying out tonight is my birthday present from my brother-in-law and his wife. These are little camping booties. They're made by Nordisk, and they're sort of fur inside and down in the baffles here, and they've got a hard sole on them as well. So for tent camping, you can just if you're not sleeping in them, you can just throw them on if you need to take a break in the night, or just come and tend the fire or something. I think they're really, really good. They're very light, and I'm certainly going to be popping those on tonight. So thanks Neil and Leslie for these. I'm looking forward to using them. I'll put my Eagle kettle on to boil some water. I'm going to have a hot chocolate before bed. Let's see what time it is. 7:15. It is December the the thing's just right over. It's about the 19th, and we're coming up to the shortest day, and I can't wait for the days to start getting a bit longer. But I'll just kill time for a little bit. I've got plenty of little podcasts on my phone which I'll have a listen to. I'm going to build the fire right up after the water's boiled, and just get nice and toasty before bed. Got a few of these. I'm going to put a couple down the end of my sleeping bag, and a couple ready for my hands, or my sort of nether regions, kidney areas, which might get a bit cold. So I think I'm just give them a shake and they gradually warm up. So I'll put those at the foot end of my sleeping bag. Coming up to 9 o'clock now, bedtime. We'll see how these do. Hazy on his channel recommended them, so I got a few from the pound shop. Forgot how much they were. Right, let's get these down the foot end. Right, well, I'm not going to do all this up and then go and get the camera, because I'm getting pretty cold. I've built the fire up nicely, put just about all the wood on it now, because I'm not going to use it in the morning. I'm just going to have a use my gas stove. So got a couple of hand warmers or foot warmers down the bottom of my sleeping bag. Hopefully it'll be a nice undisturbed night. So that's me. Just look at that, 9:10, well past my bedtime. Thanks very much for joining me. I'll see you in the morning. Good night. Good morning all. Just on my phone at the moment before I get my sort of nice camera fired up, but that was a really good night. And I'm always honest about how my sort of sleeping arrangements have gone. You know that I don't particularly gel with hammock camping, although I'm still going to keep that, still keep trying, but that was cosy, comfortable, warm, and yeah, like all, I don't know about you, but I always just get these little sort of bouts of sleep, but 2 hours at a time. Yeah, I woke up at I don't know, midnight, 2, 4, 6, but only for a short while, and yeah, I feel like I've had a good night's sleep. The bivvy, yeah, bit of condensation, but it's just the conditions for that. It's very cold still, but it hasn't gone through my sleeping bag or anything like that, mostly around the head end, and I'm very impressed with it. So time to get a cup of tea on the go and get some breakfast made. This morning we're going to have corned beef hash, and the first thing I've got to do is rehydrate some of these dehydrated hash brown potatoes. So they need about 200 millilitres of water, and soak them for about, I think, about 8 minutes until they've soaked up all the water and they're ready to fry up. So it's just about 200 millilitres of warm water. Goes into those. Oh, that's good. Right, so what we're cooking today: corned beef hash. Got my corned beef there, all ready to go. Dehydrating those hash brown potatoes, and I've got a little bit of chili flakes for that as well, and I'm going to just fry an egg towards the end of the cooking process, so it'll just be a pan of food, no plates. I'm looking forward to it. That's just some hot oil, and I'm just beginning to fry off the hash browns now. Whittle off little bits of it. A few chili flakes and some crispy fried onions, if I can get them out. There we go. An egg. There we are. Oh, there's a good helping. Let's have a go. Bit of egg, hash brown, chili flakes, corned beef. Really good. Those dehydrated hash browns that I got them in the States, but I was just thinking could probably just grate a fresh potato and dehydrate it. I'm going to give it a go because they're not expensive, but they're not cheap for what you get. So, oh, chili flakes work. So I'll give those well, but in the meantime, these dehydrated ones from the shop were really, really good. Oh. It's been a really good camp. We looked at the Alpkit Elan or Elan Bivvy. It was really, really good. 99% happy. If I was to be absolutely picky, I'd say just a tiny bit more headroom with those hoops would have helped, just sort of for moving around in the night and maybe having to get to sort of my phone and stuff during the night was. But that's really splitting hairs. Condensation, yeah, you're always going to get a little bit of that in a bivvy, but it was restricted just to around the head area. The whole length of my sleeping bag was absolutely dry, and I kept really warm, and it's packed away in a couple of minutes. Really good. So unfair to give it 99% because I don't know a bivvy that would give it 100%. I just couldn't really fault it. What else we look at? We looked at SOTO Thermostack. Really good. I used the thermal cup again this morning, and I've still got a cup of coffee on the go, and I think I made it about an hour and a half ago now. So that's really good. Didn't get a chance to use my lovely down booties, so they'll have to be used at another camp, and did some great cooking. So I hope you enjoyed the little journey with me on this one. It's been a really awful week actually, and this has lifted my spirits. Last Sunday my son's and his friends' mountain bikes, really sort of quite valuable ones, were stolen whilst they went into a little supermarket shop for about 30 seconds. They should have locked them up, but you should be able to leave a bike for 30 seconds without someone doing this. And there's the picture of the little cherubs in action, just waiting for an opportunity to actually, really, it's not the bikes, the fact that the objects that we've lost, it's how upset the two little lads and my lad have been because of the actions of a couple of lads from Keighley. Nevertheless, life goes on. We can all sort these things out, and I wish you all a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. That's enough from me, and I'll look forward to seeing you again.